any easier. I don't know if that's the case. Big, we now switch to their map pick, and after a double overtime loss, despite a massive comeback, do they have anything left in the tank? Mentally, not so much physically, not the energy levels, but keeping their head on their shoulders as we switch over to Mirage.
I can't quite find the word to describe the way that tabseN looked throughout that game. It's not dismay. I don't know, like bewilderment. I'm not sure, but either way, Big are going to need to find themselves here. They obviously have their hurdles. We've touched on this. No favor here. Sin, the substitute, up against the plucky underdogs of K23, who are one map to the good. See it, top right score right now, 22-20. An overtime affair to get that one done, in case you missed it. But Mirage really hasn't been great for K23, at least historically. Yesterday, they picked it up against Monty, so maybe that's a boon for them, as the 1x bet odds are now favoring K23. And XE Power from the underpass, he'll be the first to delve forward and take a bit of a looky-loo.
Power down below, finds it. They will run up to the corner to try and clear inside a connector. Raging got around behind Grimbo at the exact time that he thought he could get down the stairs. Timing worked very much in his favor. It's down to tabseN because searson's just been picked off by Finnegan, and tabseN all on his own. That's one. Careful of the window, but here comes the flag from behind. X5 closing out the round. K23 strike first.
Yeah, it's a team ace there. Everybody getting a kill on the pistol round.
Oh.
So that's quite tidy. And just to reflect yesterday on that K23 Monty game, that game went 19-17. So I got their reps in on the map yesterday, K23. And that was with them starting on the CT side, where they picked up the pistol but lost the 4. So let's see if they can do one better here today. But the story is all going to be about Big, right? They're going to be another one of these bigger organizations, right, who are a mainstay in Counter-Strike. Big specifically a bit of a gatekeeper team. But now you add that to the list with Astralis and G2. Oh, dear. Going to be a Glico, the Glock Eco here on the T side. So Big are going to offer themselves up to the slaughter. A nice little nade trickles forward, just a tickle damage, and the run boost to... Oh, okay, hold up. Not going to fight. They could have had a whole bunch of kills there. Crimbo's steps under the window is enough to set them into a little bit more of a passive motion. Raging needs to be slightly careful, same as X5. They don't have head armor.
In toward connector. Raging gets the first. Easy lineup, but he needs, as you say, to be careful still of that bench position. He'll double up, searsonn down, and X-Power gets the information that they are on the bench, so likely heading toward the window, and he makes no mistake to put down Keto when he does. Finnegan closes the round, so no team ace this time. Raging took 2. X5 doesn't get involved, but K23 looking pretty solid still.
I'm just flicking through like some of where these players have come from over the years. Like Clax with that round that he just had over there on Inferno. You know, when he was in Trident with Seized, etc., you know, he was always sharp. But in a pressure moment like that, I like the way the desk highlight. This is a guy without much experience whatsoever, stepping up in a pressure moment. So, fun little storylines here with K23. Big, they're going to keep it tricky, right? They were very tricky with certain rounds on Inferno, and most of those tend to work in their favor.
Hey, whoa.
Yeah, they've flubbed that, haven't they? So,
but hang on, if they okay, I thought that Clax actually just stopped there, like. Technical, but didn't. Apparently they did just flub it.
You got to be particular with where you're jumping from that elevation on the side onto his head, but it's an A play anyway. XE Power overlooked on the balcony, one in the back. Keto does take X5 before he falls. Now, the rotation point of Finnegan and Raging will be through spawn. Clax just needs to stay alive and give some information here. He can't really hold on to any real estate with only an MP9 in hand. They are going to get the CT spawn control here from the Big side.
Flank coming in, searsonn spots that already. Raging takes some damage from that, and searsonn will back up his position. Just elongating that angle and making it more difficult. Sin, 9 HP, is going to get caught off. So now they know there's one in the palace, so at least gets information for that. Down to a 3-on-3, though. searsonn, elevated angle on top of the pot. Made no mistake on his retreat to reposition correctly.
Okay, this one's done. We'll just back off now. Tidy stuff, good trades on the way out. Raging to do...
Oh, dear.
That was weird.
That was... He, like... sprayed, but was like accurately inaccurate.
Yeah.
It was right beside him and held it, but he must have just...
It's like the mouse locked up or something. He wanted to drag that extra step across. That was an odd one.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Or maybe he was expecting him to start. Either way, doesn't matter. 2-1. We'll leave that one for Dan M. Keto here. This is a great shot. X5 getting caught off with the timing there. XE Power in a bit more of a bait setup. Wants to activate as they're executing. Just unfortunate timing for K23, but Big, they needed that one. They'll get it on the board early, and searsonn now into a Mac 10 to another A execute. So all 5 over towards A, another direct approach. This time, there's an extra man on the site. Clax and XE Power close ramp. That's the AWP, very close here.
Power flashed out. Klax will get the shot. He gets a double. Ooh, hang on. Keto went right behind him. He got snuck through and catches them by surprise completely. Look at that spray down. That looked like a solid start for the CTs. Finnegan towards CT. Does spot out Sin in the corner. He was low HP, so quick kill. Down to a 2-on-2. Bomb is planted. But Keto could be the one to strike once more. He still makes it work. He wasn't blind there, was he?
No.
It says flash assist, but Finnegan looked like he had vision of me. He just got caught out by that awkward movement.
As we both are here, Agent. This would be quite the clutch. Has a smoke, has a molly, has a kit.
Knows the one sword CT. He's confident, doesn't even look to his left, so he knows they have to both be in that direction. Searson's low, up and over the top, but when he throws that incendiary, it's going to give him the information, and Searson just trying to stay alive and bait out the angles at this point. Smoke goes down, and he'll hit the shot, no problem.
Okay, he will retain the AWP as well, so from a MAC-10 into an AWP, that's quite the upgrade for Searson here. That's 2 rounds in a row where Big have seemingly been able to stroll out on towards A. X5 not getting anything done when his teammates had this close A ramp setup. So, yeah, X5's job is just to watch Palace there, and unable to do so. Get caught off guard with the timing of the ramp and Palace push, and they flub the round. So, a 2-2 scoreline now, down to Pistols. They just double smoke window, or are we getting trolled here? Like, that was definitely a double smoke, right? Yeah. Things are odd in the big camp. There's been a lot of double smokes on the same position here. Obviously, we understand the pressure in the moment, but it means that communication isn't clear. Crimbo making it a little bit easier now with the double up. Major and Finnegan towards the underpass do fall, and well, now they can just sit back and wait. And this is the problem, right? We spoke about the pressure being on one side of the server. Now that K23 are, well, 14 rounds away, essentially, they're the ones who will start feeling it a little bit more. So, and it's not to mean that the big aren't under it. It's just that now that K23, they've realized, oh, this is doable. These guys are beatable, and we can punch that ticket to the major.
Yeah, obviously they barely got their map, though, and yes, they can do it, and you're absolutely right. They need to think that way, but this is Big's map territory, and having already redeemed the 2 rounds deficit from the pistol, they are looking pretty solid here, and you're right. They clear off an angle that's pretty uncommon, so taking no chances.
Dust 2 would be an actual great affair. I would love to see Xe Power going toe-to-toe with Searson on that map. I'd really be excited to see that one. And it's good that these games go deep, right? Especially with what's on the line. Oh, execution there from Keto. Lovely shot. Just Klax now. Signature Deagle in his hand up towards the vent room. And looking to keep everybody alive Big. So Sin has taken a slight bit of space. He gets the information and actually have to hang for this kill, but will. There it is. Klax removed. So we'll get back into the guns swiftly. I'm just taking a look again at that game yesterday against Monty. I think it was only 6 rounds in total for K23 on their CT side. So we might have another one of these matches where the CT side is a little bit more rough around the edges. So when we do get into clutch situation or closer situations, that's where the real emphasis will be. Because if the rounds are few and far between, yeah, they only managed 2 consecutive rounds yesterday, and it was the tail end of that half. So do a bit better than that today. Aggressive, of course. Xe Power in the underpass. Absent out top mid, and I like this approach with the smoke on the ramp to use to challenge to take the fight one way over. I think it was thrown a little bit off the mark there, but regardless, same result as they do get the mid control they were looking for. Tabson parks himself behind the mid box. Keto watching for any pushes towards A, and the other 3 grouped up now towards the B apartments. But here's Xe Power on the search, goes overlooked, and Crimbo again. Okay, 3 kills for him.
Fantastic start. Incendiary in that underpass position to walk Crimbo back. They don't want to challenge mid on the back of it. They aren't trying to use that to peek top. Quick sandwich clear the flames. Keto, the one that's over at A, he's going to leave that now. This is going to be a B hit all day long, and with that kill in the underpass, they have thinned out the defense considerably to the point where Finnegan's the only one here, and he's got 2 angles to watch. He has to cover catwalk and the site itself. So a smoke behind him for that exact reason.
He needs some help though, doesn't he?
Oh, big time. That smoke's going to be almost gone by the time they get in, but it's not going to be too soon that he is approached. Keto is heading that direction. Someone is gotta watch Connector. Okay, they are now. They are rotating it over. It's Ragin that's gonna win that battle. Now Finnegan knows it's clear. Now he can turn to the site. He finds one. They thought he was long gone. Crimbo, good response though. No one overcommitting to the peak to give him a second chance, a second shot to take a player down before the bomb gets planted, which it will do now as Ragin still looks toward bench. No one's gonna beat that discipline right now. And then good flash timing. Crimbo goes on it. Tabson follows up, and Big in a 2-on-1 with bomb down in their favor are trying to control the angles, but that's the first mistake they have made. They walk out far too wide, and a chance for X5. You're absolutely right, though. Tried to switch over to the op because he didn't want to go for the reload, and now he doesn't know what to do. With the Molotov down, he says, screw it, pistol, there's an AK in the site, I'll take that, but he's going to look the wrong direction. Oh, was he spotted? I don't think. Crimbo may have just seen he's playing the time. He's playing this smart. I think he saw him walk by, and he didn't even bother to commit. And X5 has no idea where he is. This one's done. Well played.
Good impact from Crimbo here. He's going to either go down with the ship or take X5 with him, but either way, round converted, 4-2 now, a 2-round lead. Everybody goes down, but that round got dicey for a moment or two. So they should be happy with that. Just going to get the fist bumps in.
Yeah, that was solid. No one really overcommitted until Tapson nearly made that an awkward one-on-one. But well played by Crimbo in the end to keep his composure.
And X5 missed his molly. I think he wanted to bank it off the wall to flush out that pillar, but he lined it up with the window. He needed to aim a little bit higher. It's gone deep in towards the marketplace and just flubbing his lines there. So good attempt from the youngster, but Crimbo will get the better of him this time and down to the pistols again. It's another thing, you know, I always forget. These are the human beings that we watch every day as we're doing our job and people at home are watching, but there's some young kid here. Like, X5 is 19. What's that opportunity to go to Rio? How old's Crimbo? Yeah, he's 20. Sin's another young buck. It's...
Well, that's what I'm loving right now is, like, we've had a few young talents come through Counter-Strike and that are now staples of our community and, you know, early 20s, whatnot, but we're getting another wave now. And whether that's based on the online era or what the case may be, and certain teams getting opportunities they wouldn't have had prior to the pandemic, I'm not sure, but there's a lot of new players that could be at their first major in Rio.
Oh, they're nading this.
Nading it, but they're getting flashed off it, so they can't push through the peak. Keto gets 2. Ragin still in that smoke, tries to go for a lovely deagle shot. Can't do it. Hat trick now for Keto.
Yeah, it's not looking so menacing here from K23, is it? So will be another round when the guns come out. So final 2 kills required here. Finnegan and Xe Power just floating around. Finnegan towards B. Xe Power, well, he's not lost. He's in T spawn looking for some space, and he might be able to get a kill onto Tabson here, who needs to go back and scoop the bomb. You can see Tabson aware of the possibilities. The wise leader clears his corners and clears concerns in round 7. Now it's just about identifying Finnegan, who we've seen over towards the B bomb site several times, and that is what Big are going to be reflecting on. 48 seconds, and they will be diligent about this, so making sure they're doing it by the book, not taking any risks about any of the buys. The bomb will be found, and the round as well. Just going to be checking back in on the Vitality versus Heroic game while we have a bit of a lull. Close your ears. I'm going to give you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's if you don't want to hear. Second map is currently tied 14-14. Wait, they're coming into B. They're coming into B. It shouldn't, you know, it shouldn't go wrong.
Nah, it can't.
The only way it goes... Okay.
He's missed too many shots. They're going to swarm him either way. There was nothing to worry about, Chad.
All right. I was just gonna, it only goes wrong if they start planning with only 4 seconds left on the clock and he kills the planner.
Fair enough. Yeah, that would have been brutal. That would have been a huge one.
Absolute worst case. Okay, just to know, I will repeat what I was saying. 15-14 on Inferno's second map. Our winner of that game will take on OG later today.
For who?
Heroic. They need one more round.
Okay, and that would give them a 2-0 in the series and make them a legend.
No, not a legend yet.
Right, they have a second series. That's right, absolutely. Sorry, that's a 3-way tiebreak, not a 2-way. It's Group A that has the 2-way and Group B that has the 3-way.
And if you take a look as well, Imperial versus Pain on the Americas has just kicked off. The winner of that will take on Complexity for the final major spot in the Americas, right? And that one right there will be hotly contested. Imperial with Fallen and Fur. Maybe you need a little bit of a history lesson on those two. We won't get into that now. We will get into the timeout that has been taken and the discussion that has been had. You saw God be there attempting to confer with the squadron. The double AWPing, though. So Ragin and Xe Power with the big greens into round number 8. And will that be the difference maker? Well, only time will tell. Big have been somewhat execute heavy, especially within the first few rounds. And executes smokes, mollies, flashes. They're a good way to deal with these pesky AWPs and flush them off the line. Tabson using the top mid smoke that was thrown for him to at least apply some mid pressure. And here's one of the AWPs. Posted aggressively early. Oh, that's a very defensive smoke.
Don't know how far to go through that. Stand with the off angle in the kitchen. through A main, and Ito already backpedaling. Will not take any damage from it. Searson sees the elbow. Oh! Ow. I thought Searson had that all day long. Ragin just absolutely punishes him. Sin gets one back on the swing. Ragin's stuck here. He needs to battle his way out of this position. He's the only one that can do anything of this, and he's gonna get Molotov'd off and tries to stay in the flames. He'll go down. He'll get burned. And this now leaves just 3 on the defensive side. So Big looking to make this a potential 6-2 scoreline. Lovely nade. X5 walked right in behind the truck exactly when it landed, but now he's gonna be standing up on top of it, and he'll find Sin in return.
Okay, I thought, X5, what are you doing making so much noise? Do you not want to lull them into the site after 2 kills have already gone down? Apparently wants to send them packing elsewhere, and Sin will offer himself up. So an overextension brings the numbers back. On the jiggle, Keto might get caught here. Timing from Klax is everything, and it's perfect.
Man, oh man, that could have gone either way. The fact that he turned and he was already looking through the vent rather than toward jungle. So advantage for K23, 27 seconds. Crimbo with bomb, gonna go down. That should secure round, but watch the jump. Oh, Tapson missed it. Tapson, yeah, he's gone. Tapson missed it. He realizes he's probably missed the round as a result of it. Could still catch out X5. I was gonna say K5. He'll go back behind the boxes with 10 seconds, so it's going to be a third for K23.
We've had a lot of numbers and a lot of letters with the teams we've had here, haven't we? B8, 8, C9, G2, K23, X5, and there's an AWP for you. That one will not be retained, but there's enough money for Searson to buy one here. Plenty of cash for another buy round out for Big. This was great from Rage in this first one to Searson, and as we saw from Searson's perspective, he had all the advantages, just wasn't expecting that swing. The step out into Sin, who did a decent job to draw one back, but this all has to be about Klax here. Playing over towards that jungle and window position, finding some impact, but still on the ropes to K23, and that is a curious case of Finnegan's buy. The biggest pressure point, the biggest concern. Gap here for X5 to work with, and well, as the back cat smoke lands, he will spam and hope for some damage, but they're taking their time about this Big. Very clear they're being by the book. The smoke in the hands of Sin and Keto, so they're throwing out some utility towards A. They want to try and draw the players off of mid to respond and assist this A site if it will be a set piece. So Ragen steps into the fray and will sees a few scurrying down. So information and jig is up.
Boy, he Tapson. No mistake on connector. Didn't take any time there, did he? Just walked it right around, and now he's got an angle. Goes to the bench and finds Ragen pushing catwalk. So looking to respond straight away after the loss in the previous round. Big flashing X power inside sight. Now he could be a problem. We know what his single AWP can do on Inferno. So they need to evaluate the other side of the map as much as anything, and they're going to do that now. This should walk into B and be done.
They're not going to give anything up here, are they?
Well, no, and I can't imagine they rotate or even go for this. Save the op.
That would have been Finnegan's chance. He could have been there quite swiftly behind short, but I'm with you. I think that this has to be a save. They have upgraded away from the MP9 into a rifle at least. But that was just Tabson with 2 kills and the round done. XE Power can hold on to this and see if anybody oversteps. With the way Big are playing this, I don't think they're going to give anything up whatsoever. They are being very, very cautious in their approach. And a 3-round gap. But this is the same thing. In that first map, it was 11-4 first half for K23, and we ended up in overtime, right? So we have to take our time with this. It is looking very good for Big here. 6 rounds already is fantastic. And they can't get overzealous. They have to make sure that they're keeping a lid on how they progress. It's overtime for Vitality versus Rogue now, so there you go.
Nice. There you go. Yeah, that's a fun one. Like you say, OG awaiting the winner of that. That'll be at the end of the day today. So 6-3, like we said, but the op will fight another round in the hands of X Power. 2 AKs to go with it, so not terrible for the CTs, all things considered.
I'm just trying to have a look, right? Having German representation at the major. Sprout have slacks already, so there's at least one player who's been able to qualify. Maus, if they do qualify in their matchup, JDC. But obviously Big, you know, Berlin International Gaming. This is the German side, and to not have them at the major means that the poor Germans won't have, won't be able to pick their support so easily. There's quite a smattering of squads that we have locked in. Just for everybody, if you've been missing the play over the last week, we already have FaZe, NIP, Na'Vi, ENCE, Sprout, Liquid, EG, Spirit, Cloud9, Heroic, Vitality, OG, 9Z, Furia, 00 Nation, IHC, Fnatic, Game Allegiant, Bad News Eagles, and Greyhound. Those are the 20 teams that we currently have locked in. We have 4 more to find today, 1 from the Americas, 3 from the European RMRs. And that'll set us up for the 24 who will be at the Rio Major in a couple weeks' time.
X-Power looking toward the smoke. A little bit late on the shot to catch the cross. So Tabson will get toward boxes and flashes onto him. He's just going to sit and wait that one for a moment as Crimbo underneath has revealed his position. So X5 treading lightly will get out of middle now. Rage and force back. Ooh, double nade. Tabson takes a ton of damage and X5's able to close in on it. What's off? Oh, X-Power's got a hit. He doesn't get a second crack at it, fair enough, but big miss on the first that nearly created an opportunity. It is still the advantage for K23. Keto finally gets a kill back. Clax will be the one he finds, and that'll allow Searson to get ever closer to the site, but they know the bomb was down outside of A main, so the rotations are already here. Tons of time that if they get that bomb, they can go back, but X-Power's not going to allow that. Searson over the top. He actually clips Raging through the wall, but kill comes back in his direction. 6-4 now.
And double AWP again. So Raging clearly wants to hold on to this, right? Feeling it's going to give them that little bit of an advantage in some of these bomb sites. They will be able to get a full buy forward of this. So K23, they do respond. You can see what happens there. Towards top mid, Tabson goes down, and at that point, everybody tries to search for a play. Right? They try and take the space on A on the death of Tabson. But the strat is not meant to be Tabson dies, right? He's meant to be able to survive, and a whole other round would have ensued. But as soon as Tabson goes down, it felt like they had no other option, which is not the case. There was a minute 10 on the clock, so maybe overplaying the hand, looking to draw one back. And normally when your top mid player gets flushed out, there's multiple bodies. There wasn't really multiple bodies there. It was about 2 players, and they dealt with him pretty easily.
Smoke.
Wow, look at this space.
Yeah, they've been given this. No one there either at jungle to pinch this. There is X5 back in the window position, but yeah, that's easy. They just left that wide open.
That might be the easiest round of the RMRs. That is insane.
That's wild. Like you usually, okay, you might get gifted connector, but with like a plan, a contingency, right? Like you're gonna have it covered. CT's gonna swing for you from ticket booth as jungle peaks and take away the aggro. Something, right? You don't just give it to them.
That's crazy. I can't believe they just walked 3 players silently through a smoke. They might lose everything here. It's the double orbs to be retained. Raging will hit a shot. But they are searching for this, both on the site. Tabson already has them boxed in towards the B apartments. Keto on Cat. And Crimbo making sure there's no defuse. That's something at home, everybody. Make sure don't all leave the bomb unless you are 110% certain. Not even 100%. If you are 100%, that's not enough. 110% certain. So you know where both players are. Back immediately. The back and forth affair of these rounds continues. So if we continue in this fashion, K23 can get themselves 6 rounds. 6 rounds might be enough with a pistol on the T side and them being able to find some good executes. But this is a much better looking big, at least in the early stages. But again, the T sides for both these teams haven't been the concern. It's been the CT sides.
So 7-4. You said it was 6 rounds that K23 got against Monty. So 2 more and they'll achieve that. But easier said than done. Double up again, and we'll get underway now.
This is the thing, if you want to retain double orbs, and Big know it's double orbs, as I mentioned before, it's really easy to deal with double orbs unless you take it proactive across the map and really search out fights before they can set up their execute. I'd just be so tempted if I was Tabson just to call out an A set piece or a B set piece and make sure that their orbs can't do anything. They're constantly blind. They're going to have to account for this window and connector position because K23 cannot continue to leave it open. Double B set up with AWPs. Okay, well, we're seeing everything today.
Oh, and a fast play. Tried to catch it out. X-Power's got to fall off. Sin's going to check. It's 1 off they know. If they knew it was 2, you could flood the site right now. Obviously, they don't have that information yet.
Look how scared they are.
Well, they don't even know the position. They're like second guessing. Like, wait a minute, you go, Rifler? Get in the sight, Rifler, because you're going to need it now. Sin's already down. Up from X-Power, looks above. Oh my God, he got away with that. He got away with it. Oh. But it is Finnegan, the Rifler, that they find next. So still the ops have to do this. How's X-Power alive? How's he able to slide out? It doesn't matter now. Sin's committed. He gets 2, and suddenly X5 holding with Clax back and waiting. And I say with Clax. Clax is nowhere to be seen. He's over fighting still toward connector. So at least gets Keto, and that's information that one player was removed from the equation, but now so too is X5.
All right, well, it's Sin's equation here. He just puts him in the bin on the B side. That is some beautiful work from him. Stylish. Normally in those scenarios, he looks pressured, and he still looked slightly pressured in that scenario, but hit a couple of bangers, and he should feel proud with that one. That's his round. He can put that one on the mantelpiece. Hello, boys, I got us 8. As Clax has to save, and they know where he was, because the damage has already been done, so sniffing him out. They want to rip everything out of their hands here. Lost bonus 2,900 into the next. This one is going to hurt.
Whoa.
That was cheeky.
Yeah, flash in underneath, but the aim was a bit off on the first shot, to be fair.
We gave him 2 decisions in that moment. Fight me or turn.
Yeah.
So, you know, either way. Wasn't a great choice there for Klaxon in that split second. Couldn't make the correct one. I'd be happy with that. That's a great round from Sin. You know, that might be enough to activate him a little bit more so. It's going to be a timeout, the 4th timeout here on the T side, and smiles on the faces still. So it's obviously something funny being said from the coach here to try and lighten the mood. This is the moment in these situations, right? It's like you want to make sure the mood is still pretty high. Even though you're getting bit, listen, boys, we've got a map. It's all good. There's smiles on the face of Rage, and I'm loving it. I don't know what's being said, but there must be a fun tone to it. All right, well, here we go again. Big are really having their way with K23 right now. It's not a full force buy, but Finnegan has brought out an M4. He's gone all in. Everybody else with some light upgrades. X5 trying out Julie's on a investment round as it will be the base for this boost. Finnegan can't hang around there for too long. Probably already overstayed his welcome. And we'll dip back. So unless Finnegan can find some fights, Big are just going to sit back and wait for this, aren't they? They have 2 players towards T-Spawn watching A, Sirison watching mid passively with the AWP, 1 player watching the underpass, and 1 player watching the B apartments push as well.
Quick flash down the stairs at the courtyard position. That's what you just heard on the right side. Just making sure the CTs aren't pushed up at all. First kill done. Keto's the one that gets it, clacks down. So the Molotov follows up to make sure there's no one playing any cheeky angles on this, although Finnegan still is. No one at mid to challenge him. He's got his gun firmly fixed on Crimbo, who's never going to expect to be along the wall.
That's a good pickup for Rage in here. He can actually scoop down and grab that immediately. Pick up the AK. Oh, XP-Power's find the timing here. This is... Oh, he can't finish the meal. That was a real chance. Can't get it done.
I'm surprised he goes back for that, because surely he's going to call a bodyguard, and it's the AWP player, and that's exactly what happens. Finnegan, though, still has Keto, and he knew that bought them space. If 2 went back, then where have they gone afterwards? That means they've got to walk to the site, and they're trying to find it. Sound-baited. Tapson looks high, and Raging, you're right, picking up that AK, is able to pull it off with 3 kills.
That is kind of miserable there for poor Big. That type of a round, the first kill comes in their favor, and A seems pretty susceptible, seems pretty weak. But they're limping across the map one at a time. Crimbo not ready for that type of play from Finnegan. He buys the rifle, and it pays off. You know, when you make that type of a call and it doesn't work, you feel like a bit of an idiot. But right there, you feel like a genius. So making a half out of this. Still 8-7 available against K23, sure. But look at this. Sirison gets out the orb. He doesn't have any armor to go with it. A MAC-10 in the hands of Sin. It might have to be a Hail Mary.
Might be. Might be. Because that's where the bomb is at this point. Courtyard position and 3 in the hall already. So smoke set for Sirison to go inside a quad. Finnegan already takes the shot though, and no one covering off those arch positions, so not enough smokes to do so. Crimbo's got a good headshot though, and he follows that up onto Finnegan as well. Now they have the sight.
Oh, XP-Power's missed some, hasn't he?
Yeah, big ones as well. He made up for it a few rounds ago by getting a second shot at it. This time he won't. Still alive in it, still with the AWP, but Keto is up them again. He sneaks around into a position they weren't expecting. Luckily, X5 found a kill before that, so at least he got a 1 in this to help his team. And X-Power completely repositions. Missed a shot on Catwalk. He's like, not for me. Not going again. They know where the op is. They're going to position differently or try and attack accordingly. So he brings it now over toward Checkers, where he can play off of his teammate Klax. And Klax goes first and goes down first. Sirison with his op stares straight into him. This could be a 9th for Big if X-Power doesn't do something spectacular. And Keto looks sharp the entire round to find his second.
I have to give props to Crimbo again here. A 2-piece for him to enter that site to trade off of Finnegan's opening. That was fantastic work from Crimbo. Didn't have the best of showings over there on Inferno, but is stepping up now, and this is when it matters most. You're down a map. You need it, and this is the Galil. Just tap, tap, tap it in. Adam Sandler would be proud. This one here, it get a little bit sketchy. I think the overstepping the mark from that side position from Tabson, he didn't need to. They knew that that player of X5 was there. You could see it indicated in Keto's crosshair placement. Tabson steps out, gives one over, but they still stick the landing, and we're in the final round. Sirison onto X5, ready for that Palace push. Stifles any of that aggression. Again, back's turned.
Yep. Oh my God, they didn't even look. The second one there, I thought Tabson was going to be even more patient than that with it, but he doesn't need to be. They give it up. Second player peeks straight into his crosshair. X-Power gonna rotate, making a ton of noise. Crimbo's got him done. That's a great position to be in, and has to go for this with the AWP in round 15. A couple of shots already inside of the smoke. Goes the other direction instead. Crimbo's wondering, where'd he go? I want my kill. Come to me, please.
I'd still get it. Maxi power up. Noisy. Finnegan not noted yet. And running out of time here.
Takes the flash straight in the head. Doesn't matter. Keto and taps in to close it. 10-5 at half. So K23 don't quite get the 6 rounds that they achieved against Monty, but have they done enough? CT side's certainly been problematic. It's Big's map choice, mind you. Find out if they can close this. Force out Dust 2 when we come back.
Hey Future Pros, we have another execute for you and your friends to learn. This execute will help when you are taking the B site on Mirage. For this setup, you will need at least 3 Future Pros and 3 smokes and optionally a bunch of flashes. Let's break this down. Future Pro number 1, you'll be throwing one of the arch smokes. To do this, line yourself up with this corner of the cracked stone floor. Aim at the left side of this dark squarish smudge on the wall, then simply jump throw the smoke. Since you threw this from close to mid, I would recommend wrapping around cat to get to B or maybe holding off rotations in mid. Future Pro number 2, you will throw the other arch smoke. To do this, line up with the middle part of this window. Aim to the sky and position your crosshair so it is in the middle of the antenna and the overhang. Then throw the smoke normally. Future Pro number 3, you will be smoking off the window leading into the B site. To throw the smoke, get yourself into this corner. Aim at the corner of this large tower, then jump throw the smoke. Nice and easy. With all 3 of these smokes thrown, taking the B side should be much easier than it would be without them. To make this even easier on your team, get your players to lob as many flashes as possible over the top of B. And as always, good luck.
Through. Spinks up on second oranges. He's dealt with him. Apex here as well. Trying to make their way through the side. Cadian can't connect. Down. Only one remaining. 2 seconds left. Just wants to get away with the AWP.
Oh, yes, we'll manage it. Yeah, just caught in 2 minds there, Heroic. By the time they try and head in towards the B-bombs, like the timers tick so low, so you can't be diligent with your clears. Just try and gamble that there's no players residing up towards top or second oranges. Flashbang makes Spinks not shoot. So there's an opportunity to try and isolate the kill on towards Coffins, but once the white expires out of his eyes, gives him a little bit of a rub, he's able to just lock that one in. Vitality starts.
Well, we get back underway, and a lot to play for. Big, with a 5-round lead, trying to level out a series, stay alive, survive elimination, and punch a ticket to Rio. And it's K23 that have already started off with a long and grueling affair on Inferno to give them the advantage in the series, but as I said, down now.
You can see Gulp there behind them praying, trying to will the team through, because this is just to set them up for Dust 2. That's the scary factor of this series right now. K23 are the ones who are in the driver's seat, even though the scoreline doesn't look so. Can swing for the fences here in this second half, and they set straight up for an A set piece. Keto towards Ticket, Sirison from jungle. Tabson will also be rotating in, and the 1x bet odds favoring Big here, so I think the German side can get this one done.
Sean Skeeto, ticket. Oh, I was going to say drops down to stay out of fire. Comes back up, takes X power, but now they'll overwhelm him, run and gun. And down he goes, X5 with the kill. He'll tuck himself into the trash. Anti-flash looks to wall, gets a second one thrown up by his teammate. And it's so well executed. He missed a few shots, but man, he made up for them. And even turns around to take out Searson. Huge round from X4. Kills for him. So not quite X5, but still a remarkable effort.
Well, he authenticated that round, didn't he? So he's going to be the guard on that A site. Massive stuff here as they do pick up both pistol rounds.
Yeah, that's pretty nuts. I mean, did only get 2 in the first half, but still, they only got 5 rounds total, so that's a huge part of the reason they even have a chance in this. Now we'll see if they can close the gap.
Now, we had the discussion last time around in the same fashions, right? You win the pistol, you get the conversion against the eco, you get the conversion against the first gun round, you're back in play. And, well, the path of least resistance in round 17 is B. They didn't know that, but they've taken the educated guess. They've rushed in with all 5, and X5 leading the charge. And, well, Big, they're going to position elsewhere. So looking for exits, try and deny some of these weapons being carried through and see if you can grab any of this plentiful treasure for yourself. But this is certainly 7 for K23. Does anyone know the etymology of the name K23? Why did they go with the 23? Did they like Michael Jordan? Is 23 just a number they like? I think the K is for Kazakhstan.
The number 23.
Is that's the movie where they think...
Jim Carrey.
Okay, yeah.
Everything adds up to 23.
Yeah. We can find patterns in everything, everybody, if you look hard enough.
All the quantum mathematics out there, or whatever, you know.
Sin cos tan.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. I don't remember what they did. I just know they're on my calculator. Oh, mincemeat.
Trigonometry.
Cash.
Well, there we go then. So that one's cleaned up as well. 2 rounds to start it off. Just as Big had to face this deficit of the early part of the half in the first. They'll do it now on the CT side. The difference being you don't quite get the same sort of money when you jump to the first gun round. So they do have a FAMAS and an MP9, but they do manage still 3 M4s.
Yeah, this is a really important round for Big in the context of this game, and it might just be another run and gun B with these MAC-10s in play. They're going to have to distinguish when they go.
They'll go now. Nate as well is going to bounce in. Good damage to Finnegan and Clax for it. Crimbo, man, oh man, the amount of flashes, but Sin gets to the window first. Smoke out. That allows a bit of an entry through window, but they didn't know the Clax had gotten so close. And he'll clack his way inside of the smoke now as well and be harder to find. Bomb is planted. Tapson, does he jump through again? Oh, clears that corner, but Clax is on the other side. So he's played that perfectly with those smokes that were thrown by the CTs. And now I think the CTs are gone. So it's going to be 10-8. You okay, Chad?
No, I'm not. That's really bad, B-hold. Like, Sin's doing the right play, right? You know, people are like, why is he jumping out on his own? Well, he shouldn't be jumping out on his own. He wasn't the B anchor. The B anchor got scared and ran away. Were you going to play retake 5v5 on the B site when you don't have a kit? Like, are we understanding the situation right now? Apparently not. That is a bit of a miserable one to fall apart for Big there. So 10-8. Good stuff for K23. And the tone of this shifts. The tone of this shifts in 1 round's time, especially if all these guns get blown out of the water. If they're able to bring this back to a 1-round game, they're able to take away all these rifles, force Big into a very unlikely situation. I don't even know if Big are going to force with these saved guns, right? Because there's an MP9 and a FAMAS. If you just take a save now, you can guarantee a proper buy into the next round. If you force in...
was it MP5? I think the FAMAS was bought out. I think that it was M4 that came over.
I saved 3 guns there.
Ah, right? 3. Okay, so yeah. Yep.
But either way, right, this is where if you went all in behind it, which they haven't done, then you were going to find yourself where you'd be down a deeper rabbit hole. So this is the right call. This is the right call as far as the buy goes. It doesn't feel very threatening. It's still a bit of a landmine here for K23.
Yeah, but they've upgraded as well, right? That's the beauty of it for them. They get the M4 picked up to go along with the AKs away from those FAMASs. Excuse me, from the Galils. Galil's been impressive this event. I've seen a lot of first bullet accuracy with it going against non-armored opponents. It's been just shredding. Thompson boosted with his FAMAS to look toward mid. No one at the key position yet. Not quite the same pace to this B take this time, but Ragin is clearing out his angles. Yapping that smoke, he heard it, but he missed the chance to find Tapson, and he may overlook Crimbo if he gets too tunneled onto that. Crimbo would love that, wouldn't he? Just standing here with the 5.7. No one look at me, please.
Oh.
Flash gonna bounce back. He jumps down, and he nails the shot onto him. But there we go. Grimbo overlooked. Rage's turned back. Good read, react. And he's gonna push right through to Checkers as well to try and hold off rotations. Watch for Sin on Catwalk, but he's backed off it with the smoke in his face, and he's gonna get caught out as well from top mid. X5 is just waiting for this. First shot done. Does he know the second one's there? He doesn't. So MP9 can upgrade to M4, but it's still gonna be a 10-9 scoreline.
Rage has been great, right? He has been fantastic. Another little revelation here, having a very good series, especially in a hard entry role like that. And I understand he was given the room to search, but eventually he has to go. And look, these mistakes are starting to add up now. tabseN didn't expect anybody to be that far forward, even though they had no eyes on that choke point, right? We saw Crimbo's position, but he was held in tight. He was waiting for the explosion. And tabseN offers up some info, and as they went, he was out of position. So all these little issues are starting to add up now for Big, and it's the same problems, maybe not identically the same problems, but similar little mistakes that can really cost them now. And fortunately, they do get a full buy, right? There's still time to change the tone of this, but it was looking great in the first half for us to bring it back to a 1-1 in the map department, take us to Dust 2, somewhere where both of these teams could do some fantastic work. It's Big's home map. K23 also no slouches on it, and that's because of XE Power, the AWP player here on your screen. He can be an absolute monster in territory. Like Dust 2 is an AWP is re-peaking heaven. So that's where he can get up to some of these hijinks you've been seeing so far throughout the series. But they are really punishing this B bomb site. Faking mid presence with a top mid smoke. Again, multiple bodies over there searching for an early pick. XE Power's AWP might find a jumping Crimbo here. Oh, not if the smoke's up.
No, that's not going to help the situation, but Crimbo does jump forward now. And has balcony covered off. Remember, Sin is the other player in this equation. Had one incredible clutch in the first, or incredible sequence in the first half, did Sin, but perhaps trying to exploit him as the fresh meat on the team. Continuing these B attacks. Oh, Searson's left it. No smoke in that window. That was his chance. Molotov down underneath. Rage, and again, blinded up. He crosses all the way over. Sin's able to locate that based on sound. They were both blind. Bit of a mistiming, and that's going to cost them dear. It's down to just XE Power. What a hold this time. Bit better this time, Chad, huh?
Yeah, it looked much better this time, right? They were actually both ready for this type of a pop. Even though the U2 was really, really strong coming out, that extra man made this possible. Ragin went for the scaling of the space, but his teammates weren't able to get out deep. And that was the difference, right? Last time round, Ragin got multiple kills. This time round, not to be the case, but it is very clear they want to make sure this B bomb site is punished. So Big back into the winning ways, and you can see all those corpses there on the balcony, just held them at the choke points. So good stuff. Crimbo gets the double up. XE Power, the worst case scenario for him is going down after time. It's not the end of the world. You can see how much cash he has next to his name, but it will have flow-on effects for the future rounds. So 4 out the gate here, eventually stalled. Big showing up when the gun rounds come into play, and there it is. Keto will take XE Power. So a clean one here for Big, and a necessary clean one to draw a 2-round lead back into the picture. Now, I would just quickly run to the bathroom before, Matt, and Sprout are outside. They're enjoying the sun. You know, there's some players hanging around here at the resort enjoying themselves. And then we have these two teams in the server fighting for their life.
Absolutely.
Quite the contrast.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the way that it is today. This is it. Do or die. Obviously, Sprout, yeah, lots to cheer about with their success in this Road to Rio. Very successful week, I would say, for them. Searson, incendiary behind boxes. That's extinguished, so X5, they know he's there, but he'll flash back, and Searson's forced off of mid. No further exchange between the two. Molotov, Crimbo jumping away from it. He lands on the balcony, but absolutely, Ragin had to have heard that, but didn't get the jump on it at all.
Must have been the cusp of the smoke right there. That is great from Crimbo, because it's clear to me that Ragin's task has been to disrupt this B bomb site significantly, right? He's been there almost every round looking for those fights.
Well, and look at the response to that as well. If you're going to go B every single time and leave us A, we got to start pushing for information. They're going to slow this map and close it down, but they have no control of middle, so they can't exactly rotate off of A yet. tabseN is tasked with spotting that, and he does with a jump.
Searson's AWP is here. Short is the worst place for this. And, oh, hold up. Did he see him?
I'm not sure. That timing, I'm not sure he did. Doesn't matter. Clax has Crimbo. Searson now knows they're there, and X-Power did hold the angle the whole time, so perhaps he did. Came right back into it, and B, again, this time not from the apartments, but from Catwalk directly.
I'm just curious. Oh, XE Power almost gets another here on the punish. You know they're saving at this point.
Straight through the legs, didn't he?
I'm just curious as to where they thought they were going to be, because there was only 2 other parts of the map. You mentioned the A ramp play, and they knew that there wasn't a whole lot going on over towards middle. So, well, at least connector in that regard, and that's where short comes into play.
Well,
and
even
scaling on
Tapson-
short was a problem.
Even Tapson jump spotting mid. He saw a player down toward connector. I don't know if he did see anyone on cat, but could have easily swung out for that info.
I think the reason I thought that was a very strong setup is I assumed that Sirison would have been watching short with the AWP at range. And then he plays off of the rifle's information towards apartments. But that transition, that caught them. And this is the details and the timing of Counter-Strike. It is a cruel mistress. Right? You might look at these players and think they're meant to be indomitable and know everything that's going on. It's literally the tiniest of margins, the smallest of details. And you would be surprised, right? We never really get to hear from the horse's mouth. But they go, oh yeah, this was called, or this was calmed. And that is the difference.
Okay, so he saw there was a smoke. He only saw the player at the bottom. It's a good replay. Thank you for that. That confirms that he didn't quite know if it was going to be cat or not, and it certainly was.
Oh, that is really rough to swallow. So another one-round game, and we're getting into the heat of this now.
Oh man, bigger. This is like so much pressure on the line right now. And like you say, this is an organization that, yeah, Germany, this is it. This is your team, but also they've had success in majors. They've become a bit of a staple, as you said, even gatekeepers in this sense. Well, right now the gate might be pushed over and knocked down by K23.
Well, they've conditioned B enough right now. Sin and Crimbo on the side on high alert for Rage and Antics. Over towards mid, there are 3 smokes dotted by K23 to puff up their chest and make it look like a default, but it's going to be a Palace play. 3 out Palace looking for a fight and hoping one comes their way. Keto's been great, 20 kills for him. Absent in the site, the boss man alongside, and Sirison will be over towards Ticket. So this is a strong defense for the A site here, but X5 and Raging can still change the conversation with the space that they make and take. But they're walking out. They're walking out right now. No one's looking.
That's a, oh my God. Seriously,
no one's looking.
They just shuffled. They just changed. Tabson was the one that was there, and the op went up and looked toward connector. They didn't
Chasing
even consider
Keto.
it. This is insane. Well, they didn't chase. They pushed it back far enough. They know they have time to execute now. Keto might get away with this, actually, because he wasn't as far off as they thought, and he's going to be right behind them. He's going to be walking out, but Finnegan knows he's coming. Doesn't get the shot, gets the information. Doesn't matter if the accuracy's that good. Keto trying to save this round. Bomb did not get planted. He denies it, and that's going to give the CTs chance to reposition and get toward A.
Considering a save here. X5 can activate. I think he's accounted for by Crimbo. Needs to win this fight, and does. Round still on.
Back through murder hole. Spotted and damage taken, can't overcommit to such a play, and Keto still at A main. X-Power getting a bit desperate, 25 seconds. X5 with it all to do, even checks back toward Cat, but he's gonna lose that one. Finally, he'll go down, and I think X-Power is not long for this life either. It's gonna be a 12th round for Big. Tapson confirms that that's a huge round from Keto.
It's again the awkward timing. It doesn't cost them this time, but you see it manifest again. They're making so many broad assumptions. They're just assuming players are not in positions, and you cannot do that at any level of Counter-Strike. So much frustration from Tabson here, but, you know, I don't know why you're looking at Crimbo for that situation. They're just leaving these massive gaps. They're running away, looking at, like, tail turn from the bomb site. Klax walks out, gets an easy one. And if they swept just a tiny bit further around the corner at A ramp as they were trying to clean out Keto's position, they likely find him there. Run boost top mid. Sirison cannot see, but will dissuade with that deep incendiary behind the mid box. Agent down to just a Mac 10, so they might want to send him in here, but Crimbo and Sin have been starting to lock this side of the map down. The flash over, Crimbo steps, has seen him, but the space is taken.
Oh dear.
A team flash.
Yep.
He looked up to the sky.
It's the second time Raging's been caught by it. We saw the one where he shuffled across the arch and Sin spotted him, so go back to before that. He was excellent on the entries. Now he's just unfortunately getting caught out by timing.
Well, if that's the only play you have available to you here on K23, it should be a quick finish to this one for Big.
Window for X5, perhaps. Got a lot of space on the map in the last round, but just didn't have the manpower along with him to get it done. Absent, and rotate behind triple and maybe even reverse fire to hold the inside of the site. Might even go all the way to Shadow.
Very strong defense on A now. Boost window, looks like it. X5 parked. Once they have window control as well, if they win this jungle fight, this is the key duel, and timing again.
Man, that's ridiculous. Tabson's ready for this one, though, but does get the tank, re-peek right now, and he's in trouble. Gets back away, and he knew he could, but that just put him into the clutches of X5, who'd already worked out from connector. Sirison pushed back on this, and Bomb will go down default.
Sin on the rotation here through spawn. Sin can be the difference maker right now. Sirison and Crimbo need to allow this flank to play out. Still 35 seconds on the bomb. If he just wins one fight, there's a chance.
Finnegan was the one that checked last time and lost track of Keto, remember, so he's not this time, but he does go down. This time, the difference is he's still well removed. He's back towards spawn, and Klax has time to react. Baited out, though. Good bait by Sin. This will take them into an exchange, but Klax wins it, so the position's still held, and they're going to back off. They're going to save. This is 12-11.
Oh, I thought Sin did enough there to at least usher a bit of a gap onto the site, but fortunately they didn't go for it. Check out XePower's position during all of this. Look how safe he's been with the AWP. He knew that he could play clutch with the AWP from Connector if he needed to, if the worst case scenario manifested here, and it didn't. A one-round game again. K23 are not giving up. They understand what's on the line right here. Major qualification. They are a mere 5 rounds away from upsetting Big here today in 2-0 fashion. And even if they don't pick up this one in Mirage, we will be heading to Dust 2 as the third. And remember, all the timeouts were taken from K23 in the first half. They understood. The coach understood that they needed to get as many rounds on that defense as they possibly could to make this T-half possible. And they're getting there now as GodB chimes in for the second time of his own volition here. Money for the buy, that's not the problem. Problem is, how can they stop giving up these awkward timings? And they're isolated in so many fights. And Keto, isolated. tabseN, isolated. There's no team cohesion there.
Well, the interesting thing as well is that GodB, sure he's identifying that, but you can see the eye contact and the conversation was almost directly to tabseN. So, hey, you're the in-game leader. Here's what you're doing wrong. GodB was an in-game leader for years and years and years with, obviously, Mouse Sports most commonly, now known as Mouse, we know, yes, but Mouse Sports in his case, and then was a player on this big lineup, but it's direct communication with and a trust with tabseN, so now they need to implement it.
He played with tabseN for years on NRG when they had Legia there, and stuck in the window. Very lucky as searson. Look at this space. X5, so quick. 1:40, and he's already tucked into Connector. Oh, he's been seen. He's been spotted. They wouldn't molly like that otherwise, and they definitely know now.
Quick pop flash. X5 has gotten a lot of space in each and every round, though. You're absolutely right. It has been mostly due to the fact that he's able to exploit middle, but Klax just took tabseN out, so the opening kill still goes the way of X23.
Shows through the smoke.
K23. Just bend the K a bit, and it's an X.
This is awkward.
Rimbo's got the kill back, though. He did catch it out. They tried to go through window, and X5's caught. searson gap in that smoke. He's just hoping it's going to work in his favor because timing hasn't, but they're in A main, and he's heard it. But Keto, good find on Klax. That was the early damage that tabseN did. It's going to all start going Big's way. 13-11 looking likely, but not yet, because Ragen's still inside the site. They know exactly where he is as searson takes out Finnegan. And it's a flash. Oh, Ragen put his head down. I think he was spotted, though, and searson just holds it.
Okay, that's searson's best round so far. I think that's 9 kills.
I know,
couldn't stop saying his name on Inferno, but it's good that he's activated now. Whether it's too little, too late, they still have a 2-round lead, so that's definitely not the conversation here. Is that enough to break them? That's a big round to win.
Interesting thing is both offers only have 9 kills.
Yeah, not finding that impact they were looking for here, is it? It's really Keto. The man right now laying down the law. 23 kills for him, being an absolute nuisance over towards A, and K23 are going to concede round number 14 here to Big. Their loss bonus only 1900. Next round they will be getting out the full buy, and oh, X5 going to make it a quick one. Not going to get the space on the Glock. Was ahead of the top mid smoke by a significant margin.
Rumbo up above again. We've seen this exchange go both directions. Ragen, though, only with a pistol this time, and Crimbo's just waiting on the inside of the smoke. Even trying to, yeah, I think, okay, that's just anticipation. When he shot that, I thought maybe he got the name to reveal itself, but backs off. Ragen gets a bit closer. Nade doesn't do much. He's already crossed that window. Asking a lot of a headshot with a Glock, but remember, XePower does have a slightly better weapon in the Deagle. Doesn't matter because they don't have slightly better situation as they continue to drop men. So this should be now 14-11 for Big.
Okay, bit of sweat off the brow here. Rimbo getting 1v1 after 1v1 there, so we'll add them all up. Gets himself 3 in the round, and a nice little platform here for Big to close things out. They got a 3-round lead. They just need 2 more. It seems simple as you like. It's their map choice. Their CT side looking much better here. Well, I say that. That's the first consecutive rounds they have posted on the CT side, and they've only managed 4 so far, so need to do a whole lot more of that. And as I mentioned before, with K23, it was a bit of a drama with that B play is the only access of avenue they have because things have chopped and changed in that regard. They are heading back over towards B early here, as Sin is actually tasked with middle. So searson on the push, on the peak. How far is he going to surge all the way up? That's a freebie right there. X5 will take that. I don't understand how X5 got there so quick and searson wasn't ready for it. Grimbo's still just putting tap shots in toward the apartments.
Same round, different round, same situation. The only problem is that there's a bit more weaponry on the other side. K23 desperately need this one to keep this map in contention for them. And Sin, he's caught raging out. Same play, tries to go for the drop, tries to go for the fast play, and Sin rotating it around. Raging from the grave. He's been dead for 5 seconds. That Molotov finally burns Sin alive. That's the craziest kill he'll get in terms of timing, but the timing for X Power fails, and it taps him with the kill. X5 again on the flank. He's been so good at getting map control in mid, but this time he's late lurk. He has to clutch it back. They don't know he's here yet. Taps him might consider it now, and does. He'll close it to make it map point for Big.
Okay, massive stuff now. Bigger back in this. The nerves at an all-time high. Just one more round needed. No plan. You've avoided the issues. This one is all theirs to take. Big have done the hard work here. Map number 1, they could have had that victory as well, and this was even with Sirison giving up that opener right there. But you bang on, and Sin here, he's just fighting for his life. He runs into the flames just to make sure he grabs a second kill, but gives it up. It's not the end of the world, and Tabson will get up to his 14th. Now the fire in the belly. Loving this one, Crimbo and Sin. They've been tested time and time again. Just one more to pass.
Fast from Tabson, careful with the ammunition. Keep a bit in reserve, has to reload, falls off, comes back out, no mistake. X Power goes, and Sin is still looking from the other side of middle. This one's done. Pack it up, boys. We're going to Dust 2, and we're going to decide who's not a legend, excuse me, who's going to the major and who's going home. Because, yeah, not a legend spot on the line, just to clarify, but definitely a trip to Rio either way. Clack's got one back, but count it down, Chad, if you do the honors.
You want me to start counting now?
Well, not literally counting.
Start from I can start from 100.
That's too much.
Yeah, well, we'd already be
You
in
need
the
to
break
start at
there.
70.
All right, well, 69, 68. Seriously, though, for a moment, and we can take a serious turn on this, is the fact that Big did bounce back, right? All the pressure is on their shoulders in this type of a situation. They're the favorite in this matchup. They do have the substitute, but they pull up their map victory, and we do have Dust 2 coming up next. Clax now. Oh, he will isolate a second fight, but left on 48 points of health here. Plenty of time to work with. The bomb, not with him, that's the biggest issue, and he is going to play for his life right here. So we'll give Clax the honors.
As well. This is for a major. Why would you possibly just give it up and pack it in if you can keep this one alive with a 1-map lead?
You know it here.
That low HP. It's Deagle to go against for Searson, and Deagle will do. It will be the map to Big, 16-11. Long series so far, but it's not done. We've got one more map in Dust 2 to determine who is going to the major.
Big smile on Sapson's face there. They're going to be happy with that, but job's not done. Dust 2 next. This is going to be a tough affair. This is going to be an absolute brawl, and the AWPers need to step up. Sirison and X Power to go toe-to-toe on everybody's favorite playground. Stick with us. We'll be back shortly.